This man here, man, he's known as the voice of Riverside, but he's also very knowledgeable in sports in general. Man, we can talk stories with this man, and his name is Leon D. Culpepper. He says he's often imitated but never duplicated. That's his slogan. But we have Dave Contreras out there in Fort Lauderdale, and today we're going to be talking about some boxing rumors, some possible fights, and this will be our second time that we bring somebody on from the Rolling with the Punches group to discuss, and we would like to do this every Sunday. So we welcome Leon D. Culpepper to the show today. How you doing, Pep?
I'm okay, Mr. Ochoa, better known as Jaime. I'm doing okay for a guy, you know what I'm saying? It's a pleasure to be on your show.
How you doing, Dave, out there in Fort Lauderdale? I know you're about 3 hours ahead of us again. It's about 9:35, I imagine.
Yes, it is. And we're waiting for Dave Trujillo. I'm waiting for him to come on. I've been trying to give him a call. Hopefully all is well. But as soon as he comes on, I'll go ahead and click him right in so he could join us.
Right on. Well, Pep, hey, the first question we have for you today, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. In your opinion, what do you think is going on? Why isn't that fight going to happen?
In my opinion, I think the reason that fight ain't happening is that the promoters are wrangling over who's going to get the most money. The bottom line is that that's the fight that the public wants to see. You got the two best in that division that are undefeated, and I think it's comes down to money from the promoter who wants to get the biggest payday in that.
We're on live. You want to log
and what do you think? Okay, so let's say the fight did happen. What is your opinion on the outcome of that fight?
I'd have to say, in my opinion, when Errol Spence got into that accident, it didn't look like to me like he came back all the way the way he was prior to the accident. Prior to the accident, I think the fight would have been a toss-up. But I think now after this accident, I'd have to give the nod to Crawford.
Wow. How about you, Dave?
Crawford, his contract with Top Rank is up in October. If Crawford renews that contract, I don't see that fight happening, because what's going to probably happen, Yordanis Ugas, who holds, I think, the WBC or WBA belt right now, he will be fighting Spence. And between now and then, if he doesn't renew with Top Rank, we will definitely be seeing that fight. I think probably by June, no, not June. I'm probably by September, we'll see Spence and Ugas. And in October, if he doesn't renew his contract, I'd say either by December or January, we will definitely see the fight between Spence and Crawford. And I agree. I agree with you 100%, Pepper, that I got Crawford on that one. Spence, after that accident, he may look good physically, but mentally, he still needs a couple of more good fights, because I don't think he's the same, or he'll ever be the same.
I'm with you there. It looks like to me, when you look at him, it looks like his brain motor mechanism is a little tad slow compared to what it was prior to that accident.
Yes. In December, the accident occurred. When was it? Like in September or October, right? I saw him in December. I was at the fights. I had ringside seats in Ontario, California, when the two Charlo brothers fought. And he was sitting directly in front of me. As a matter of fact, I got a picture that I took with him there. And I'm telling you, his face was extremely swollen, and he just wasn't all there. And even now, when you see his interviews, even when he fought Danny Garcia, he fought well, but it just wasn't the old Spence. And I think that, a traumatic event like that, guys, I mean, it not only affects you physically, it affects you mentally. So I just think that, and it ain't just because of that. I just see Crawford being a two-dimensional fighter. I see him winning, but it's going to be a great fight once it does happen. And I foresee it happening if he doesn't re-sign with Top Rank. And the way things look right now, I don't believe he's going to sign with Top Rank. I think he's going to basically do what Canelo did, what Mikey Garcia and Mayweather did. They basically went on their own, formed their own promotional company, and Canelo's going to be much richer today and tomorrow than he was when he was fighting for Golden Boy.
So let me throw this in the mix. What do you think about Sean Porter fighting Spence? Maybe as I don't want to say a tune-up, man, because Sean Porter's no joke either. I mean, he's 31 and 1. No, actually, no, he's 31, 3-1. But I think that would be a good fight.
Him fighting Spence or Crawford? He already fought Spence and lost. If he fights Crawford, yes, I think that's going to be a great. I think and they're best friends. They're actually really good friends. I think that would be a great fight for Crawford because once again, Crawford will be fighting somebody that is top 3 in 147, and I think his credibility and also his ranking. Well, he can't go any farther up. He's 1 or 2 in my pound for pound list and everybody's pound for pound list. But I think that yes, it will bring. All the soothsayers that are saying he hasn't fought a great fighter, it would basically say, you know what, he beat Sean Porter. And I don't know if he really would or not. Sean Porter, I mean, the guy was a running back in high school, and I think in college too. I mean, the guy's a pretty strong individual. I think you'll have a hard time with Sean Porter.
I'd like to see Sean Porter and Virgil Ortiz go at it. I think Virgil's still a couple fights away from fighting somebody like a caliber of Crawford. But I think that would be a good fight. Ugas would be another great fight. Man, that division, that 147 is loaded.
Hey, real quick, Dave, I know you're watching. We miss you. He's trying to log on for whatever reason. It's not allowing him to log on. But Dave, we'll be seeing you next week on the show. We miss you. We miss House of Pain, but we will definitely be seeing you next week on the show. That was Dave Trujillo. He just texted me trying to log on for whatever reason. It's not allowing him. We'll fix that after the show today. Yes.
All right. So Pep, in your opinion right now, Pep, what is the dream match you would like to see?
The best match I'd like to see, Canelo fight somebody in terms of, a real good contender or a champion. That's another division that needs to be sorted out. You know what I'm saying?
Like who though? Like the Charlos?
No, he would beat the Charlo brother with his experience. I'd like to see him fight that guy from England. Just keeps talking all that stuff about he can beat him,
Oh, he's fighting him. He's fighting him May 5th or 6th. You're talking about Billy Joe Sanders?
That's right.
Billy Joe Sanders,
that should be
yes.
an entertaining fight, but I think Canelo has too much sock for him, too much power,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think what's going to happen, the first maybe 5 or 6 rounds, this kid's going to be running a marathon. Because he fights like Mayweather. He hits, runs, and he actually, he moves around the ring. He has good footwork, but I think what's probably going to happen in the 6th, 7th, 8th round, Canelo's going to catch him with a body shot, and he's done. But, he's going to have to cut off the ring. He's going to have to cut off the ring to really get him because this guy, and the funny thing about him, when he fought David Lemieux, everybody thought David Lemieux was going to knock him out. But, David Lemieux looked very slow against him because this guy has great footwork, outstanding footwork.
And that's the key.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. What do you think, Jaime, about that fight?
I think that's a great fight.
Yeah.
I would still like to see him fight Jamal. I would like to see him fight him. He's 31-0. He has 22 knockouts. He's ranked number 2 in a couple of the top 10s in that division of 160 middleweight. But fighting at 168, you got some serious, Caleb Plant. I would love to see Caleb Plant and David Benavidez go at it.
That would be a good one.
Yes.
I would like to see that. You have some great fights right there. From 147, 154, 160, 168, you have some explosive fights. And I would love to see, and like Pep mentioned earlier, you got these promoters that are holding the fights that we want to see as fans, they're holding them back, man, and it's unfortunate. And I know it's their business. I know that's how the way they make money. But you know what? Win or lose, if you put your best horse in the race, and if it wins, it wins. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Who cares? It was a great race. So they got to get past that. You got a lot of these fighters that are cash cows for these promoters, but that just shows to me that they really don't have faith behind their fighter. If they're claiming all this or all this hype and all this smoke, then fight the best, man. Fight the best out there. And I see some good fights coming this year, 2021. I think we started off on a good foot. Actually, towards the tail end of 2020, we started seeing some great fights. But I'd love to see some of these fights. I think David Benavidez is something special. The only thing with him is I'm a little worried about his defense. He comes straight forward, and someone that knows how to pepper, no pun intended, pepper, but knows how to pop and go, might give him a little bit of problem because he's just full steam ahead, and he just tries breaking his fighters down with those body shots. But he eventually will catch you. I mean, he's a brilliant fighter. He's very confident. I mean, he's already trying to call Saul up. But a lot of these fighters, though, to be honest with you, they can talk all they want, But at the end of the day, they know if they can make a fight with Canelo, that's their biggest payday ever that they've ever had.
I think what they're doing too, I'm not to cut you off, but I think with the covert, they don't have the live audience, and they're kind of stalling to get that live audience so they could even make more money along with the pay. They'd have the live audience gate, and then also the pay-per-view gate, and I think that's what, in a way, they're kind of stalling out. In my opinion, that's what they're doing.
I believe the only one right now that can possibly beat Canelo, I think he'll beat him, is Arthur Beterbiev. He's a champion, WBC champion at 175. That he's from Russia, a Russian fighter. He's an outstanding fighter. But Canelo, once again, the only time he went up to 175 was to fight Sergey Kovalev. And Kovalev, he was already done. By the time Canelo fought him, I mean, he was already done, and he's done now. They're still trying to resuscitate him from the dead. He was going to fight, I think he was going to fight Smith. And guess what? He pisses dirty. No, it wasn't Smith. It was going to be, I'll remember. And he pissed dirty. So they had to cancel the fight. So, but if Canelo really wants a challenge, somebody that I believe that could probably beat him, he would have to go to 175. At 168, you know what? I like Benavidez. Benavidez is his worst enemy. It's sad to say. I mean, he's lost the belt twice, one for using cocaine and the other one for he couldn't make weight. He was off for 3 or 4 pounds, not much. So he's his worst enemy. But I believe that I like the kid. The kid has a lot of potential, but he just needs to work on himself. Hopefully he's doing that. I've seen a lot of his interviews, great interviews. It looks like him and his father are great people. They're working on themselves. But I think it would be a great fight, but I still have Canelo winning that one. But listen, guys, I was going to ask you, I was reading today on Box News, Teofimo Lopez. Now, Teofimo Lopez, his father is saying that he's no longer going to fight on mainstream TV. All of his fights from now on have to be pay-per-view. What do you guys think about that?
I would say that what he's doing is that he's probably, as like I think he hasn't been on his own. So now what he's doing, he's trying to chase a contract to get some more money, basically, if he's trying that avenue.
Well, what happened, Pepper, was that his next fight, I think it's sometime in April 10th or something like that, but he's fighting, I think in April. Yes, in April, he's fighting Cambrosos. Cambrosos is a 135. Yeah, 135 pound fighter. He's rated on the top, I guess, top 10, like number 9 for one of the belts. I think it's a WBC belt, but he's rated number 9, but he's undefeated. He's actually a very good fighter. Everybody's thinking that because he's a mandatory that it's going to be an easy fight. I don't see it being an easy fight. I've seen this guy train. I've actually started watching some of his prior fights. This kid has a lot of potential, this Cambrosos. There's a reason why Trilogy, what is it? It's called Thriller, right? Thriller, a new promotional company. There's a reason why they're paying $6 million, $6 million just to be able to get that fight. Because Top Rank was only willing to pay, I think it was 2 million. And I think Matchroom came in with 3 million and Thriller came in with 6 million. But the new CEO of Thriller, actually, I believe he managed or manages Cambrosos. So they know something that we don't know. That's why they want to pay the 6 million. And believe it or not, they see something that we might not. We might see an upset. There's a reason why they're willing to pay 6 million for that.
In that 135 division, of the top 10, 5 of those 135s are undefeated. And Cambosos is one of them. I mean, he's 19-0 with 10 knockouts.
Yeah.
So that's one heck of a weight division as well. You got some great fighters there. You have Devin Haney, you have Ryan Garcia, you have Davis, the Tank. Man, there's some just great fights there. And
you know what, Jaime? A lot of those fighters that come from Australia, I see them like whenever you hear somebody from Mexico, you know that they're brawlers. But you hear somebody from Argentina, you know that you got Maidana, you got so many others that came out of Argentina. And if you go to the across the pond, whenever they bring fighters from Australia, it's like when we hear of fighters coming from Mexico. I mean, they're brawlers. I mean, they're not little pit-pat boxers. I mean, these guys are brawlers. So this guy Cambrosos,
very similar to Ghana.
Yes.
In Africa.
Yes.
You have the Azuma Nelsons and all those, that
exactly.
They didn't come to play, man. They came at you and left it all in the ring. And you're right. Some of these countries, you just know. I mean, the one that comes to my mind from Australia is Costa Zoo.
Outstanding.
I mean, that guy back in the day was something else, man.
Yeah.
So Pep, let us know what you think about Tank, man. What's up with Tank? How would Tank do against a Teofimo or even maybe
Ryan Garcia?
Garcia.
That's kind of a mystery. You remember, I called you when I saw that Santa Cruz and Davis. And I said, man, I mean, Leo Santa Cruz is arguably a great fighter. I mean, I think maybe his strategy in that fight was only thing he lacks is that big haymaker, that big punch to take you out with one punch. But all his skills in terms of professionalism, and then getting back to the Australian fighters, they're sort of like the English fighters. They stay upright and they don't protect themselves. And very few of them have, other like when you say Costa Zoo, have that big knockout punch. You know what I'm saying? But Tank Davis, he's with Mayweather, and I wish him well. And I think that Floyd's doing a great job giving him the knowledge and the wisdom that kid needs. And if he stays on the right track, he has a heck of a future ahead of himself. But that's going to be a great fight if him and Ryan Garcia can ever get there. I think Ryan Garcia is a great strategy boxer. He keeps everything going with that jab, and he's got a hell of a right hand. If he hits him, it could be, lights out. So it should be interesting.
Well, you know what? Hopefully he has a good attorney. The reason why he got rearrested last week for a hit and run, and they're looking at charging him with a vehicular hit and run. I think it's in Baltimore. So he's looking at 7 years. I'm not saying he's going to get the 7 years, but right now he has some very serious legal problems.
I can understand it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Mayweather right now is probably sweating bullets thinking, oh my God, here's my, golden egg. That's going to, be a world, or he's already a world champion. But I mean, it looks like he's really promoting him. But he's looking at criminal charges. Doesn't mean he's going to go to prison, but I mean, that's a distraction for him, but I like Tank Davis. Good fighter.
Yeah.
One other question. What do you guys think about Oscar de la Hoya? he came out on Thriller 2 days ago, and I guess Snoop Dogg and Bernstein were having an interview, and Oscar comes in and he gets the microphone. He goes, "I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm fighting on July 3rd." And then gangster style drops the mic, and then he walks away. Or he walks away. What'd you guys think about that? You guys watch that?
I saw a little bit of it, but you know who he's fighting, right? He's fighting somebody from the UFC. They haven't named the fighter yet, but he's fighting a UFC fighter.
Really?
So so I don't know if it's you know, he's reaching out to what's his name, McGregor. But I don't see too many UFC fighters with a name to make that fight, you know, wanting someone to watch it.
How old is he? 47?
47.
47. And the guy, you could tell he gained a little bit of weight. I mean, a puffy face, little bit of weight, has a shirt untucked. I mean, I'm not saying he's in bad shape. He's always maintained in good shape. But I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a big pay-per-view. I mean, Oscar La Hoya coming back at 47. Somebody's going to pay for it.
When I look at that, I look at the guy, first of all, he's one of the all-time greats.
Yes,
but then also look at it's his ego, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, we know, of course, as time, we try to compare Sugar Ray Robinson to some of these middleweights. We try to compare Ali to these guys. Each stage of time has their own boxers.
Yes.
And I think what Oscar sees in his own head is that these guys don't box as good as they used to, and he might still have a chance. And then another thing is, just like I said, their egos and being left out of the limelight. You know, I had Jaime tell you, I had a friend, buddies that played ball, and when they get out of that, you know, their mind gets to going like, what can I do? And they miss it. They miss whatever game they're doing. Yes. And, you know, we all have a time when we hit that pinnacle of life, and you have to leave that behind and move on. And I think Oscar, along with, like, who's going to pay to see Mike Tyson and Holyfield, a 58-year-old and a 54-year-old? My first thing is that I hope they don't hurt each other in terms of that, you know? Mm-hmm. And I mean, it would be it back in the day. Yeah, that's a great fight, but that's back in the day.
But the last Mike Tyson fight, the exhibition fight, 1.7 million people paid to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 1.7 million people, but yet the two Charlo brothers fought, and I think I read today that it was like 60,000 people or 90,000 paid. But yet Tyson and Roy Jones, 1.7 million people paid. So, I mean, some people, I guess, will pay to see him fight Holyfield, you know?
I think it's our generation that was paying for it, because in a way, that's us. So that
I didn't pay for it.
Not me either.
No.
I sure did.
Oh, Jaime.
I sure did. Yeah, I wanted to see it. But you know what? I was disappointed, though, not in that fight.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in the whole production. You know, they made it to WWF back in the day. I was waiting for Sergeant Slaughter to come out of the corner somewhere. But besides that, I enjoyed it. I just, at the end of the day, Roy knew how to maneuver his way where he wasn't going to get hurt or allow Mike to hurt him, because Mike hurt him a couple times, but he held it together and tied him up in the whole 9 yards. He knew how to smother him. Holyfield, he would want to bang with him, but the last time I heard Holyfield talk, he's already had some damage, man, and a Mike Tyson punch to the head could really send him backwards, man. And I wouldn't want to see that. That guy's a legend, and we need to keep him around as long as we can. I know they need money, and they're gonna get the money, but figure out another way to make money, man. You guys are big names, and
exactly.
There's other ways. So Jaime, rumor has it that Oscar La Hoya is going to fight a UFC fighter, because he's been talking a lot, saying they all fight Triple G. He's mentioning big names. I mean, and they're not sure if he's going to fight at 157 or if he's going to fight at 168, 175. I think right now you could probably fight at 190. But I mean, I don't know how far down he's going to go. But I mean, rumor has it he's going to fight one of the top 10. I mean, I don't know if it's true. I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around, but this is the first that I hear a UFC fighter. Yeah, that's too bad. If he's going to go back in, fight somebody good.
And it kind of made me think a little bit because you know, I know Dana White and him, they weren't looking eye to eye there for a while. So, but it's funny, you know, money makes people come to the table, and
Very true.
so I don't know.
What do you guys think about the new big boy in town, the new sheriff in town, Thriller? Now they have Snoop Dogg as one of the announcers. I mean, they're putting out a lot of money, and everybody now, you know, once again, I'm just reading between the lines. I haven't heard anything, and I'm not into rumors, but just reading between the lines. I've been reading a lot of you know, people's comments, not only comments, but I've been reading a lot of articles. I guess Oscar might be having some problems with Matchroom and with DAZN. So Oscar may be looking for a new home, and what better place, a big promotional company that's up and coming like Thriller, put Golden Boy, have Golden Boy fights on new Thriller. They have a new CEO. They have a lot of money. They got Snoop Dogg. They have a lot of entertainers, more like a WWF, WWE. What do you guys think about that? It's a new sheriff in town.
Well, I think that the Thriller, you know, in the communication field, it's like booming. And I think Snoop and them have found an avenue, and along with just his name, and if he gets Oscar, like you said, they collaborate there together, it could be awesome. One of the biggest.
Yeah. And you know what? I like Snoop Dogg. I like the way he calls fights. I mean, the guy, first of all, is a huge boxing aficionado. He loves boxing. And you know what? The guy has a mind of an elephant. The guy remembers everything. I forgot what I ate for breakfast this morning. But yet that guy, man, could right now say my name and make a riddle out of it. The guy's very intelligent. So I would personally enjoy watching him call fights. I think it would be something new, and I think it'd be outstanding. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as long as he's the entertainer of three commentators. You know, you still need two others that's been inside that ring that really know. I mean, we can know about the fights from the outside, but unless you're a fighter that has entered that ring, then you can't really speak about, you know, what's going on in there. So as long as the two other ones, I don't know who they are or who they have planned, but as long as you have two other, you know, commentators that are ex-fighters, that would be great. Because I think Snoop Dogg's entertainment, his voice, his character, people are going to pay to see, you know, want to see him commentate. Because I think what happened is he did such a great job during that Tyson fight. He made it funny. I mean, he's the one that made it. He made it happen, you know. But at the same time, I just hope that they keep it family. You know what I mean? I love sitting down with my kids, my grandkids, are sitting in there, and as long as they can keep it, you know, PG, then I'm cool with it. But I would hate for them to kind of, you know, go a little bit too adult, where I'm not going to feel comfortable having my kids watch or my grandkids watch.
If it was up to me, I would get Paulie Malignaggi as a number 2. I love the way that guy calls fights. I mean, when he was on Showtime, I mean, this guy, I mean, what do you guys think about Paulie? I love Paulie.
Yeah,
Paulie's a great commentator.
Yeah. How do you, I mean, I think it'd be great. Put him next to Snoop Dogg. Put Paulie Malignaggi next to, I think that would be a great combination. And then who would be your number 3? Who would you guys recommend? Max Kellerman?
I'd like to go get the guy off of, if he's available, the one off of not Daz, but the guy that comes on the PBC fights. If you could, you know, pull him away, but we know if you give him a good contract, he'd come.
Which one is that?
The African American guy, the young guy, commentator. He sets the fights up, but then he also calls some pretty good fights also off the PBC.
You know who I would like to see? I'd like to see Tim Bradley in there. I love the way Tim Bradley also. Tim Bradley calls it like it is. and he's
exactly.
yeah, he doesn't beat around the bush. You know, what he sees, he calls it, and I like it. I would like to see Tim Bradley, Paulie, and Snoop. Man, that would be a dream team.
What do you think about what's his name? Tim Bradley's coach after he left Joel Diaz. What's his name? And then he got fired. He got fired, or he used to coach Mike Tyson. He was with Gus D'Amato. He was Tim Bradley's coach after he left. What's his name? Very famous. I mean, he's the one that when Tim Bradley was fighting
Teddy Atlas.
Teddy Atlas. What do you guys think about Teddy Atlas coming in?
That he's good. He's good.
I love Teddy Atlas.
That's that back East Philadelphia version and New York version of type of
Commentating.
trying to describe a fight.
Yes. Now, could you imagine Teddy Atlas, Paulie, and Snoop Dogg? Oh my God.
That'd be a great
awesome.
trio. That'd be a great
That'd be a great trio. Hopefully somebody from Thrillers watching our interview today, and they're going to say, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's kick down Rolling with the Punches $1 million, right?
Hey,
exactly.
Yeah.
We also got Leon Culpepper right here, man. This guy's a beautiful voice, man. Hey, Leon, real quick, Pep. Announce a fight between Charlo and Canelo right now.
Charlo with a right hand. Canelo backs it up. He's backing him into the corner. There goes Canelo with a hook. Oh, my, with a right hand by Charlo. Charlo and Canelo, they break. The referee steps in, breaks both fighters at the time.
That's what Thriller needs you, Culpepper. Thriller needs you.
Market me, baby. Market me. You can be my agent.
Man. Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
Market me. You can be the agent to it. I'm more of a PA guy, though. You know, I normally, as Chaim will tell you, I do a lot of sports games, and mainly I do, you know, football. I just finished championship season with the Riverside City College Tigers. We were the national junior college champions. We went 13-0 in junior college football, and we were ranked #1 in the national champs, actually, and the state champs of California.
Wow, that is awesome.
We've been knocking on the door for 10 years, and I thought we've had better teams in that 10-year span, but it just seemed like that way. The last year in 2019, we got to clicking, and we finally got over the hill, played up in Bakersfield, and beat San Mateo College out of the Bay Area. Actually, that's a college where I got my radio and TV Class 3 license from. I lived up in that area with my buddy not just throwing names at you, with a guy named Bobby Bonds. And when I was living with Bobby, I went to college at CSM. It's called College of San Mateo. And they had a good communications program there.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Hey, real quick, Dave, I got a quick story here, and we'll wrap this up. One time, Pep and I, we were kind of talking about what we were going to have for lunch. And then he said, hey, why don't you just hold on tight, man. I got Bobby Bonds coming right now to join us. And I said, really? You know, because this guy, man, he has 120 jokes in a minute. So I said, all right, really? He goes, yeah. And he goes, yeah, let's walk out to the parking lot. He should be pulling up any minute. So we walked out to the parking lot. So we're right there talking, supposedly waiting for Bobby Bonds, right?
Supposedly.
And all of a sudden, I see this old bucket coming into the parking lot, and Pep goes, oh, there he is. And I started laughing. I go, that's not him, man. He goes, yeah, that's him. So he parks the car. Next thing you know, Bobby Bonds gets out of the car and starts walking towards us. And I'm like, what the heck? So he introduced me to him, and we had a good old talk. And then all of a sudden I said, hey, Bobby, why do you drive that car, man? You know, he goes, if I drive, I have that car always here in Riverside to drive around. He goes, if I get out of that car, they never think it's me. He goes, so no one bothers me. And I started cracking up. But that's a story that I'll take to the grave, man. I had a great time when I first met Bobby through Pep.
Yeah.
That was his mom's car, Jaime. Let me tell you this quick story too. That was his mother's car. And Mama Bonds, we called her. She lived till she was 93 years old. And she had that car parked in the garage. It was a 1973 Pontiac. So one time I went to visit her. It must have been about 2000, right? So I said, Mama Bonds, you said the car's in the garage. What is it? She said, you want to buy it? I'll never forget that look on her face. Here's a collector's item. And she would say, you want to buy it?
Actually, that would be a great buy to have, man. That's a story car.
Oh yeah,
definitely,
now
man.
what? It's
Bobby
still in the
Bonds'
garage.
mom's house.
It still sits
Car.
in the garage, you know.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Well, next week we got a good fight. We got Herring and Frampton. And I think it's going to be across the pond. That's going to be a very good fight. Herring, he's a former Marine. I think he's a world champion at 130, and he's fighting Frampton. And I think that is going to be an outstanding fight. And the winner of that, Shakur Stevenson, wants to fight him.
That should be good.
He's waiting for the winner of that. You know, I like Herring. He was a former Marine and came in and won a world championship. And now Frampton was the one that broke Valdez's jaw. Remember? It was Frampton that did that. So Frampton, I mean, it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be an outstanding fight. Who do you guys got on that one next Saturday across the pond?
I'll go with Herring.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. Yes. Yeah, I got Herring.
Shakur Stevenson, I like him, but he ain't got that pop in his punch that he needs at that division. You know what I'm saying? But then he has the body where he can grow and, you know, maybe go up a division or two. Yeah. But he doesn't have that big right hand or that big punch. You know what I'm saying?
You know who his managers are. It's Crawford.
No.
Yeah, Crawford is one of his managers, and so is what's his name? Ward. Andre Ward is another one of his managers. So he has two good mentors. I guess we'll call them mentors. He has two outstanding mentors. I mean, could you imagine having Crawford as a mentor and Andre Ward as a mentor? I mean, this kid better be good. He better be outstanding. I mean, just having those guys in this room with you, yeah.
But if he had that pop of one of those two mentors that you just mentioned, he would be untouchable.
Yeah, it's gonna be great fight.
It's gonna be some good fights.
Yeah. Well,
this seems like another good addition on Sunday, Pep. We thank you, man, for coming aboard. It was good. I hope this ain't the last time, and we'll see if Thriller gets a hold of you. Dave and I will have the contract ready, and we'll sign you up, man.
I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I've been wanting to do this. You know, me and Chaim, we go way back. So, and we're going to keep it going as long as we're around here.
Hey, brother, Jaime and I will carry your bags to the fights. We'll sit right next to you. We'll be your bodyguards. Both those will be your bodyguards to all the fights. Yeah. Hey, thank you very much, Pepper, man. It's a pleasure meeting you. Right now, after the show, I'd like to continue our conversation with CDC. That's a very interesting conversation. Definitely.
Anytime.
Yeah. All right, Jaime, thank you. Peace out.
Hey, real quick.
Oh, Jaime, I just turned it off, dispensa.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.